and then there was a big move back to the borough, was it? Well, I mean, let's face it, Colin, what, 2.5 million?
Well, it was a few years later as well, inflation.
Well, I mean, 300,000 to 2.5 million, a bit of good business on Middlesbrough behalf.
Well, I think all I'll say is I think over the years they've probably had the value for money out of both of them. But no, I mean it was, as I say, I'd been at Forest 5 years. I honestly didn't see myself leaving there, and then Viv Anderson, who was Brian Robson's assistant manager, got in touch with me over the summer. Things were a bit different at Forest. Dave Bassett had taken the manager's job at Forest. I don't think Dave liked me too much for whatever reason. But we'd just been promoted as champions of the First Division. But Viv said what Robbo wanted to do, you know, what had happened to this football club, and it happened in my time, first time round as well, is that the club had getting promoted, relegated. And he said Brian Robson wanted to build a team that established themselves as a Premiership team. So, you know, the likes of myself, Andy Townsend, Gary Pallister, numerous, obviously had good players like Gianluca Festa, Robbie Musto, Curtis Fleming, Stevie Vickers, they had players like that, and that I genuinely thought that if it hadn't been Middlesbrough, I wouldn't have left. I wouldn't have left Forest. I was very honest about that. But to get the chance to turn your career full circle within that period of time, it was something I couldn't turn down. We moved back up, and you know, 10 years later, it was the best move I ever made.
Well, as a borough lad myself, the most memorable occasion that I ever thought about Middlesbrough was them getting to the Carling Cup final at Cardiff, and you missed out on that, Colin.
I did.
And,
I did.
You know, I was a pity about that, because I would have loved you to have been there, because there wasn't anybody from Middlesbrough area that actually played in that final, was it?
No, Stewie was on the bench.
Stewie was on the bench.
It would have been great.
Yeah. They'd have pulled one of you on. And
but I mean, at the time, it was, you know, I mean, you know, again, fairly well documented. But I'd played, even at 36, I'd played the whole season up until January. Big Hugo Ekog had struggled with his knee from the start of the season to January. I'd played the whole season. And, you know, as soon as he was fit, McLaren decided he was going to put Hugo back into the team. We got to the final. I travelled with the team. The final was actually, you know, the day after my 37th birthday. And, yeah, it would have been nice, but, you know, no point crying over spilt milk. I was at Cardiff. I celebrated like a supporter.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the day like a supporter.
I
was gutted not to be involved, but I was a supporter on the day. And it was a wonderful, wonderful day. And to see all the Borough fans in Cardiff, and for us to actually, you know, to win the cup was wonderful as a supporter. Yeah, disappointed not to play, but things happen.
And now, Colin, you're still obviously an active part that you're playing now, first team coach. What's your aspirations to?
Well, at the minute, I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. I mean, it's a fantastic buzz. When you stop playing, as well you know, and all the other lads know, it's what happens. What do you do? I mean, this club has been fantastic to me over the years, and I was given an opportunity in the last year of my playing contract to start coaching. I worked with Dave Parnaby in the academy and the under 18 team for a year, and then I kind of stopped playing. I was still playing the reserves from when Malcolm Crosby was the reserve team manager. So I was given a great opportunity. When Steve McLaren left, I was offered the opportunity to move from the youth team up to the reserves when Gareth took the manager's job on, which I did. I did that for 6 months. I just thought it was the next logical step. It was a great opportunity. But Christmas time, 2 years ago, Gareth said, I want you to come work with the first team with me. He said, I need somebody alongside me who you know, because Malcolm, obviously the experience, Malcolm would sit up in the stand and watch the game with Steve Harrison, who was the other first team coach. Gareth just said, I need somebody down on the touchline with me who I know feels it the same as I do. So it was a wonderful opportunity. You know, the coaching things happen very quickly. You know, I'm just in the process of finishing off all my coaching badges, and by next summer I'll be hopefully a pro licensed coach, which entitles me to manage anywhere in the world. So we'll see what happens after that.
Anywhere else in the world, Colin. Yeah, but you must be a proud man to have brought these young lads in from the academy, and suddenly you see them developing now. You know, I mean, the academy plays a big part in Middlesbrough Football Club at the moment.
Well, it does, but I always think it has done, Al. I mean,
yes.
When I was a kid, you know, at 14, when you signed for a club, Middlesbrough had the best record of getting young players through then. You know, they were all the young kids were always given an opportunity at this football club, whereas at the likes of Sunderland, Newcastle, it wasn't the same at the time. Yeah. I mean, the talented ones. And I always thought, even as a 14, 15, 16-year-old kid, this was my best opportunity at this football club, not anywhere else. And I think that has continued over the years. And obviously, the academy as it is now, with Dave Parnaby at the helm, is a wonderful place, an absolutely wonderful place. Dave's done a fantastic job, and I think we should be very proud of some of the players that we've produced over the years. But like you say, you know, to actually have that in this football club, and now it's you know, it's fairly well recognised that it's probably one, if not the best academy in the country. I think we should be very, very proud of that. And you know, I can genuinely say that, you know, I was given an opportunity as a youngster at this football club. And I would like to think that every kid that comes through the doors at 16 full-time to work in our academy has that same aspiration, just wants to get out and play for Middlesbrough. And they're all local lads, so you would hope that that's what they want to do, you know.
It's nice to know that, you know, I mean, being a local lad myself and coming through with that, absolutely tremendous. Colin, you realise that we formed this Former Players Association, and myself, Gordon Jones and Jim Platt, how do you feel about that then?
I think what you do is brilliant, Al, I really do. I mean, having spent a bit of time here at the back end of my career, you know, you've invited me up into the lounge and you've told me about some of the things that you do for both former players and for charities. I think, you know, I mean, Gordon's obviously a Setchfield lad, so that's where I went to school, so it's brilliant. It's brilliant for me to actually meet the guys who played in this club before me, and the work that you do is wonderful. I mean, you know, you do fundraising, you help the former players, and obviously, as I say, you raise money and give it to charity as well. I think, I don't know what other clubs do, but I think for yourself, Gordon and Jim, it's a huge pat on the back, and I'm sure every ex-player who's involved in the association and every charity who's benefited over the years, I'm sure they're very, very grateful. And
we're the top team in the North East now.
Well, I don't see how anybody in red and white stripes or black and white stripes can even argue the fact. You know, for the last, whatever you want, when was the last time any of them won a trophy, the other two? When was the last time any of them finished consistently higher in the league than us? Yeah. It's a difficult one to call, but, you know, I'm proud to be part of this football club, and every time, you know, when I used to do my bits and pieces on the TV, I would shout it from the rooftops, because the other two up the road think they're the biggest club in the North East, because that's always what it's been said. But I think if you look at it consistently over the past amount of years, there is only one.
Yeah, that's great for me, Colin. Well, Colin, thank you very much. I've enjoyed it.
Pleasure, mate. Thanks, mate.